the #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments with me, your host, Richard Bexon. Today, we're going to be talking with Erick Corrales on this podcast. Erick is actually my business partner in the construction company, which we just got into, and also our Director of Construction and Engineering. So today, we're going to be talking to him about building in Costa Rica, what you need to know, and also like how to make sure that you have a great build here in Costa Rica. And from an expense point of view, what is included and what's not as well, so that you're aware. So we're going to cover kind of all of that in the podcast. It's a great podcast for anyone that is building, is thinking of building, or wants to build, just to really understand how things work here in Costa Rica. Remember, guys, we do have investment opportunities available here in Manuel Antonio and also Arenal. We're about to start a new project next year in Arenal. This year, we've delivered 4 villas in Manuel Antonio. We're building another 2, so we have investments available there. They're already pumped with reservations, which is awesome. Just very unique properties. And actually, some of the investors that invested in the first villa are reinvesting back in villa 4, 5, and also up in Arenal as well. So yeah, if anyone wants to chat about that, the contact details are in the description down below, or just email us info@investingcostarrica.com. That's info@investingcostarrica.com. But let's get straight into the podcast. Good afternoon, Erick. How you doing?
Hey, Richard. Good afternoon. Doing very well.
Awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, good. You know, just back from, I was in Manuel Antonio yesterday in Jaco. I know you've just flown back from Manuel Antonio, where we have our Treehouse villas over there. And yeah, I mean, I think for anyone that doesn't know, we do also have investment spots available into Villa 5 in Manuel Antonio. We've actually finished 4 of the villas. They're doing ridiculously well at 70% occupancy. We're increasing the nightly rates and things are going better than they should be, right, Erick?
Correct. Yeah.
Exactly.
Significantly better. Yeah. So
exactly.
That's good.
And also, you and I have a construction company. So that's what came out of building 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Wasn't
True.
Yeah.
Started. So amazing things.
Exactly.
Doing, right?
Exactly. Well, Erick, today we're going to be kind of talking a little bit about building here in Costa Rica, just for anyone that wants to build here in Costa Rica, and kind of what they should understand and things that they should also understand about what's not included in building as well, for all these extra costs, because it seems to be, as we like to say, death by 1,000 cuts sometimes, with all these extra charges left, right, and center. So we'll kind of cover that today. But to get an idea, I mean, Erick, how do you think the market currently is, you know, and how busy are you?
Well, Richard, we are like very busy right now. Like all of our engineers are like full right now. As a matter of fact, we have been saying no to some projects, but they see the market, you know, it's kind of contracted a little bit. You know, there's not as much constructions going on as before, you know, the first half of the year. But I think there's still a lot of jobs out there, you know, and a lot of people they're willing to invest and build in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Erick, I mean, I think best to just go over here. You know, I mean, typically there are 2 types of contracts when building here in Costa Rica. Maybe you could just give us an idea of what they are and how they work.
Sure. Well, typically there's like fixed price, you know, that it's also called a key in hand. That is basically, you know, the client hires a building company to basically do their project for a fixed amount. Everything is included in that amount, and the client knows from the beginning the amount that the house, you know, is going to cost. Of course, in those type of contracts, everything has to be well detailed, you know, and everything that is specified in the contract is what they're going to get with that fixed price. Anything else, it's going to be like an extra cost, right? The other type of contract, it's an administration contract, which basically is an amount, like there's an budget that is given to the client, that it's an estimation of the cost. The construction company charges a fee that we recommended, that it's a fixed fee, a monthly fixed fee for the project, you know, and at the end the client covers all of the cost of the construction. labor, materials, and any other indirect cost that the project needs. Uh, and the construction company only charges a fixed fee for that. At the end, there are savings, a lot more savings in a administration contract than in a fixed price. And that's basically because the risk is on the client in the administration contract, right? So all the contingencies or anything else that it's normally included in a fixed contract, it's not included in the estimation of the administration contract, and the risk is on the client. So if anything happens and the project, by any reason goes like in a higher cost or has a higher cost,
Yeah.
that extra cost will be covered by the client. Normally, our experience, I would say 95% of the administration contracts are better prices, or clients at the end has better prices of their constructions.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, we typically find, it's anywhere from like 10 to 20% cheaper to do an administration contract, but there's a
Correct.
caveat there. That's when working with someone like us, because again,
Yes.
we work for the client and protect the client. I think in
Mhm.
administration, there is also, if you don't have inspectors coming in and doing things, it can also get out of control very easily. And I mean, there is risks to both, if that makes sense. That like for
Correct.
anyone building in Costa Rica that wants to do administration, and it's kind of their first time or doesn't really understand it, you're putting all of your trust in that construction company, if that makes sense. And again, we see it time and time again of just things failing, because that company
Mhm.
might be great at building stuff, but maybe not might be great at administering the money for it, if that makes sense. But also is in a Yavi and Manu, like that's the price and that's what you get. There's also risk there, which is at some point the construction company starts to request money from you, but milestones kind of haven't been hit and you don't really know those milestones. So before you know it, you've paid 75% of your house and you've only got 30% of your house, if that makes sense. Or the costs have gone up so much, or it's been badly managed, that they go, look, I can't finish the project for the amount of money. I'm going to have to walk away from it, or it changes to an administration contract. So there's pros and cons. I mean, I would suggest for anyone, always get inspections done. It doesn't matter whether it's a key in hand, or an administration, just have inspections done at key milestones to just approve that money. I mean, it doesn't cost that much money to do it. It really doesn't. But just have a third party kind of do that. But I think for a lot of
Client
people,
representative.
yeah, just a client rep. And again, you can have different, there's project management, which we do. There's inspections, which is what we do, during, every couple of weeks, or there's like milestone inspections if you really want to kind of push it further out. But like your architect and your structural and electrical engineers and mechanical engineers, they're not doing that inspection. They're just inspecting to make sure it's built to the plans. That's it, if that makes sense. Their job is not to oversee, like, is the percentage through the project the percentage that you've paid, and just protect kind of the money a little bit. So I think it's really important for anyone just to get those inspections done. It doesn't need to be with us. Again, you're more than welcome to reach out to us and we can refer you people or whatever. But like, just get those inspections done. They're not that much money.
Exactly.
And if you're doing an administration contract, definitely get those inspections done, or project management, because again, that's where stuff can really go off the rails, and you don't know until the end of the project, basically.
Yeah, correct. No, and not only that, Richard, but the change orders that both of the contracts has, it's they are like incredible. And if you don't have like a owner's representative, someone that it's looking, towards the client, it can be, it can just go wild, the amount of money in change orders. And also, at the end, it can be like very frustrated for the client.
Yeah.
So,
would you ever have your architect build your house, Eric?
ay, ay, ay. I no, Richard. O sea, and then, there's a lot of architects that are very good building, or builders, and they really know what they are doing. But normally, my experience, is that architects are artists, and the background, is to create things, not to manage things, right?
Yeah.
Or to build things, right? So most of the times what I've seen is that the architects at the end, when they are building, they are focused on the aesthetics of the construction, and that everything looks very nice. So sometimes, or most of the times, is that they focus on specific things, and they do not oversee the construction.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, things starts just to pop out, and start just to have delays or problems that could have been uh, or yeah, detected before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will not recommend it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Excuse any architect. I mean,
Yeah,
you just really need to kind of just ask the right questions, I think, always of just your architect, because again, some architects are builders, but some architects
yep,
that like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have my architect bid on my project either, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe that they could, but it just feels that like there's a conflict of interest there. I mean, the architect is there to make sure
correct.
the design is done correctly, but there should be
Mhm.
multiple layers of checks, if that makes sense, in any
Sure,
project. You can't just give the keys to one person and expect everything to be perfect, you know.
exactly,
And in some
exactly.
cases, like it can be, but in most cases, it's not from what we've found. But yeah, I mean, like Eric, I mean, we have a case where we have a key in hand project at the moment, you know, where the construction company is just like, look, dude, I mean, we can see that the money has been mismanaged and we caught that, if that made sense. And now have kind of kicked the construction company out and now moved to an administration contract, unfortunately. So, you know,
Basically,
but again, I don't think if you hadn't had that rep or the inspections, you would have never caught this until it was too late,
correct. Yep,
you know, and by
that's
that time
that's
you've
right.
paid beyond your key in hand amount and your project is like 70% done, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I just go back and go, guys, please don't be penny wise and pound foolish on this stuff. Just again, it doesn't cost that much money to get it done. Just always have someone kind of inspecting and auditing the work. Now, Eric,
Mhm.
let's just talk about stuff. I mean, you mentioned there at a key in hand contract, you need to make sure that all the details are really clear, meaning that like this is the tile we're going to use. These are the faucets that like I think the architectural part and interior design needs to be really clear when going out to bid. In administration, maybe you don't need it as much, but definitely a key in hand to make sure that you know what it is that you're going to get.
Exactly. Especially because that fixed price, it's is the amount that you're gonna pay or that you are expecting to pay for your project, right?
Yep.
So everything has to be like very detailed so that you already know what to expect first, but also if you want to do a change during the process, that sometimes happens, clients just request, like, Bill, I wanted to use this type of tile, but now I want to move to a porcelain or a natural store or anything. So when it's well detailed, you already know what's your cost, and all whatever or any extra cost, you already have the base of what you were going to pay.
Yeah.
So you are able to they know exactly what your change order is going to be. Uh, Also, for the like fixed furniture, normally no, it should be very detailed on the contract because all the fixed furniture should be included there in that contract and or in that type of contract, but it has to be like all the designs, like everything specified, so that you don't have problems. Materials, like the type of
I mean,
Jesus, I
wood
forgot
to
how to say it,
use,
like
quartz on the tops. I mean, do you want
everything,
interior
all
like
of that.
it needs to be designed, and sometimes architects do not do that stuff. That's not part of their,
Correct.
you know, scope.
Most of the time it's not a part of their scope. So I think that it's something that is very important is to have like a very clear communication with the architects,
I agree.
and understand what it's included, what are they are designing, and what, well, and what types or what things are not going to be designed, because another thing, that normally is not included in their scope of work is like infrastructure design, and most of the projects in Costa Rica needs infrastructure design. And that can represent, up to, I would say, 25% of a cost of a project,
Wow.
if you need to do earth movement, retaining walls, driveways, all of that.
Water management.
Uh, Water management, that it's also an extra, or expensive cost. So that's why I think it's very important, to have like a very clear communication with the architects and just understand what the scope are, and for the client to then understand, what's the cost that they're going to have in that fixed contract or according to the drawings that the architects are delivering, and if there's any other consultant that needs to come on, to come on board, on the project, to know well before that the project starts, and that is not something that once the project is being built, that someone says like, well, now we need to know how to manage, the rainwater, because we only have the rainwater up to the downspout of the gutters, and from there on, the water is gonna run wild on the lot,
Yeah.
or the driveway, or a retaining wall that, the lot, there's a lot of lots with spectacular views, but those type of lots need
Oh,
retaining walls
I've built a
and all of
retaining
that.
wall. You know that. We did a retaining wall. It cost me a fortune. So yeah.
Yeah, because it was not included, right? Yeah.
No, it wasn't included, and that was a nice surprise. So um yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I think that there's a lot of hidden costs that you need to kind of understand. And not a lot, but there are some big ones. Infrastructure, as you said there, driveways, water management, retaining walls. There's also stuff that like fencing, around a property, which is not already included as well. Security is never included typically either as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Landscaping.
landscaping is a big one that's not included that people don't think of sometimes, and it's just, it all kind of sums up. And internal furniture as well. That's sometimes people don't even include the built-in stuff that, like, your cupboards in your rooms and those kind of stuff, so you
Yeah.
just need to be just really clear on, like, just spend enough time in the planning phase here so that you have a great execution.
Lamps, decorative lamps
Yep.
normally they're not included. Like the construction drawings will include like regular lamps, bulbs and spots and things like that. But decorative lamps, hanging lamps, none.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
and
yeah. I mean, we can go on and on, dude, because we find it left, right, and center whenever we're going over plans. But I think it's just important to have this
exactly.
conversation so that anyone listening understands that, like, again, construction in Costa Rica can be beautiful. Just make sure, like, if you haven't done this before, but even if you've done it in the US, I mean, the same rules kind of apply, but it's just very different. There is not much recourse here, if that makes sense. If something goes wrong, it's like, okay, you're going to sue someone. You better have 10 years and, $30,000, to spend on it. So yeah, you just need to
Exactly.
go poco, like, just take your time, really, basically, and just
Yeah.
make sure it's detailed enough. And if you don't understand it, hire people that do. Like, do not be penny wise and pound foolish in this country, guys. There are, cemetery sort of projects all over the country.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
So
it is worth it to hire someone that it's on your side, right?
correct, because
That it's
again, the architect is not, but I mean, they kind of are, but they're kind of not, but like, no one's just fighting for you and only looking out for you. So, but
Mhm.
also, again, you might, if you hire an interior designer, make sure all of that stuff is detailed as well. Kitchen designs, closet designs, the materials you're going to use. Like, are you using like a melamine wood, or are you going to be using more of a hardwood like cedar or something, or teak, or like, all of that stuff needs to just be really detailed out. So, um, and
See,
then also just think about maintenance as well, because teak, while, or other woods may sound great. I mean, if you're in the southern zone where it rains with tons of humidity, maybe you might want to be looking at a WPC, like a wood plastic composite that, like, again, is still 80-90% wood and 10% plastic, but like, you don't need to ever maintain it really. You just wipe it with a cloth.
correct.
So
Tropics,
yeah.
climate here, it's very different. Sometimes, most of the time, the clients are not aware of our climate, and how the tropic really affects the construction materials,
Yep.
and so that's something that needs to be taken into consideration when the design is being done,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
wood, it's very nice. I love it, but it's a headache, and it's a constantly maintenance, material.
Yeah, I mean,
And
look,
even like that, I can guarantee that soon it will be,
it'll
changed
be
for another
replacing.
material.
I mean, we
Yeah,
have
will
one
be
in
replaced.
Hacienda Pinir in Guanacaste that we're replacing the wood in it, 2 years later, with
Yep.
WPC. But again, the architects wanted wood. So, and the client chose wood, and like, but yeah. But Yeah, I mean, I think it's, again, building can be great. You get what it is that you want. I just go really slow. Do not rush through it, and probably don't
Mhm.
start building in like September, October. You can start
Yeah.
kind of mid-November and even December, like the first week in December. Like, I mean, it's really going to be like a 2-3 week month. So you might as well just start in January when everyone else is back.
Mhm.
But yeah, and have a great contract as well. Have your lawyer always review your construction contract.
Correct.
But I
Correct.
think you mentioned something there, which is in like an administration contract, which is, again, which is where the client bears the cost and they pay a fee. Sometimes that's a percentage, but our recommendation is always to fix that amount. Because if it's a percentage and the project goes on and on and on, you just keep paying that percentage, if that makes sense. Whereas if it's fixed,
Correct.
say, I don't know, it's $80,000 over 10 months, that's $8,000 a month. In the 11th month and the 12th month, if they're still working because they didn't get it done properly, they don't get an administration fee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct. That's the best. Ideally is to you know fix that administration fee, and since the beginning, of course, have a contract, that can have penalties if there's a delay in delivering the house, even if it's an administration
Yep.
contract, that can be done, and that they also protect the clients and gives a little bit more of a how to say, like on a push on the construction company to finish on time,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that they don't take it easy,
Yeah, I agree.
basically.
Well, awesome, Eric. I mean, this has been great just talking about. I mean, are there any other areas that you think within construction that aren't considered in budgeting? On any of the projects that we've had where we've been like, oh wow, the client. Um, I mean, we talked about infrastructure there. We talked about gardening, fencing. I mean, furniture, non-fixed furniture, bed linens, and all that stuff. I mean, that's never included, guys.
Yeah,
Um,
appliances, any
yeah,
type of appliances,
appliances aren't cookers, etc. And you better have them picked out beforehand and probably buy them beforehand so that the kitchen can be designed around them. Because if they just leave holes, then sometimes it doesn't really work.
Exactly, exactly.
So
Yeah, the earlier that those definitions can be done, the easier the project will go,
yeah,
and all of those processes of you know, producing or building the fixed furniture is going to be a lot simpler, and everybody will be in the same page, basically.
yeah.
So,
I think it's important to take a variety of trips down when you're building a house here. And one of them is, again, to choose finishes, so to go out there and really choose those finishes. The other one, again, is to probably purchase your appliances, and then the other one, of course, is furniture. And some of that stuff can be pushed together, like the appliances with the finishes can kind of be pushed together. But you shouldn't be buying your appliances at the end. Like, you can buy them and reserve them,
mhm,
just so that you know that you've got them. But like, again, the kitchen should be built around those things.
correct.
Well, and also
Yeah.
don't buy appliances like Wolf, like high end kind of appliances where you can't get, the parts here in Costa Rica. They take months. Like, stick with like GE, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, like those kind of brands here. They might not, but like, I don't know, if you really want to go with G profile stuff, that's a higher end one. But, Sub-Zero Wolf, while it sounds great, getting parts for it can take months here, guys.
Yep. See, it's and the maintenance and the service, if something happens,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
It's a
just a
nightmare.
headache.
Yeah.
It's a
And I mean,
nightmare.
like,
Correct.
ACs, get inverter ACs, highest SEER numbers that you can get just for efficiency. And just make sure all of these things, I mean, are really detailed in the build.
Correct.
So,
See, as much detail as possible, it's better.
yeah, I agree. Well, Eric, my last question for you, which I love to ask everyone. If you had $500,000 to invest in Costa Rica into a business or real estate, what would you invest in and why? And you can't say give it to me.
Can I say that I invested in our investment fund? No.
No, because I think that's kind of giving it to me. I mean, you could buy one of the fractions in Manuel Antonio
Uh-huh.
Maranhão if you wanted to, but
Exactly.
so
Well, see, as a matter of fact, yeah, I will do that. I will invest in one of the projects that we are delivering or that we are building. Manuel Antonio Arenal Ridge, that are amazing projects, and very well designed, and they're like everything is like well detailed. I don't know. It gives me a lot of confidence, so I
yeah,
will invest there. Yeah, for sure.
right. I gave a presentation last night to Namu Travel, the country's largest luxury travel company, of the projects that we've got coming. So, and they were like,
Nice.
wow, like they love Manuel and Antonio, you know, and I mean, those guys are selling it like hotcakes. I mean, I think they've sold over $700,000 and, you know, we've only just opened the door. So God knows what they're going to be doing going forward. And that's 4 villas, you know, that's not all 6. So yeah, they're very excited about what we've got coming. And yeah, I mean, I think anyone that's interested, guys, all of our contact details are in the description down below. That just even wants to chat and know about it. Again, there's no obligation, guys. You're not going to get a hard sell or anything, but the contact details are in the description down below. But Erick, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, buddy. Again, anyone that wants to reach out with Erick, I'll put all of his contact details down in the description down below. But very much appreciate you taking time to share your knowledge with us.
Hey, my pleasure, Richard. It's always great to talk to you on chat.
Awesome, man.
All the things. Ciao,
Have a great
Richard.
day. Bye.
Hey, you too. Bye.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast there with Erick. Again, Erick manages all of the projects that we have here. I think we've got about 23 projects going on at the moment for builds, commercial and also residential builds here for a lot of clients, just helping them out. Also doing inspections as well for some clients. And yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty busy at the moment. We might be able to take on a couple of projects here and there, but more than happy to help. We're a sucker for helping people. So if you need anything, email us info@investingcostarica.com. Remember, guys, if you are enjoying the podcast, please hit the subscribe button. Again, a lot of effort goes into these things of coordinating them all. But if you are, hit the subscribe button so that you'll get up to date with all of our new ones coming out. And also hit the like and also give us a review if you can. I'd very much appreciate that. We're, you know, going on, I think it'll be 4 years, I think, next year, next February, of doing the podcast, and we'll continue to do these. And appreciate all the support to everyone out there. If you'd like to join the podcast, again, email us info@investingcostarica.com just to talk about anything, really, guys. Lonely, want to talk on a podcast? Come ahead and do it. But I mean, I think everyone's got something to say. And I think if you've been here in Costa Rica and done anything here, we always have something to kind of share. So again, info@investingcostarica.com. But anyway, till the next podcast, we'll catch you later. Bye.
The #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.